So Kane is 10 years older than me, and at the time that him and I started sleeping together, I was 16 and he was 26.
Sheesh.
Now, so I'm crying because he has confirmed that he has been sleeping with Kate, and I'm asking him for how long because we're together and he's cheating on me. And he informs me that him and I were never together and that we were not exclusive, so it wasn't cheating.
Your face! Show your face, please, with sugar on top!
Alright, y'all, now this story right here is interesting because for the ladies out there, you need to be careful with these men, especially if you have a daughter, sibling, or anybody around the older man. We've heard countless stories of men who prey on young women because they're younger and they're able to control and manipulate them. Whereas them same men can't date any women their age, so they settle to try and date younger women because for them it's a little more easier. Well, in this case, this girl speaks on being in a polygamous relationship with an older man at the age of 16 or 17. However, she admits that she volunteered. Now, the thing is, yeah, she may have volunteered, but it's due to her not knowing any better because she was young and preyed on by this older man. Now, if you're older and decide to have a polygamous relationship or whatever you decide to do, that's one thing because you're able to make decisions on your own. But I feel if you're younger, especially anywhere near 17 or 16, you don't know any better and older men will take advantage. Anyway, let's get into it, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it.
Story time about how I was underage in a predatory polyamorous relationship voluntarily. I don't even know where to start, so I'm gonna just start at the beginning. I'm not gonna be naming any legal names in this story time, so let's call the guy Kane. So Kane is 10 years older than me, and at the time that him and I started sleeping together, I was 16 and he was 26.
Sheesh.
Now this relationship lasted for a while without being discovered, probably a few months shy to a year. Oh, when my parents finally found out about the relationship, I decided that I was going to run away from home, which is how I ended up getting pregnant, not with Kane's baby. Of course, due to how I got pregnant, I didn't tell anybody, and I was honestly under the assumption that the baby was Kane's.
Damn. So, once again, see, this is what happens when you're young and fast. You hear what she said? She was in a relationship, and once the parents found out, she decided to run away. And now she ran away, but then she ended up having a baby with somebody else, not even the 26-year-old that she was messing with, which is the first red flag. You're 26 and she's 16. I always wonder, right? What type of conversations do you have with somebody that young? Even if you're 22, 23, anywhere in your 20s, how are you messing with a girl that's 16, 17? Like, what do you have in common? What do you talk about with somebody that young? I don't know.
So boom, here comes the fucking drama. I know it was drama prior to this, but boom, here comes the fucking drama. But
see, once again, she's seen nothing wrong with it because she was young. She says she's not calling him a predator, but her therapist is. But guess what? He's definitely a predator. He preyed on a girl that didn't know any better because she was 16. And the fact that she's however old she is now and still said, I didn't call him a predator, my therapist did, says enough.
But boom, 16-year-old me, almost 17, pregnant. So I'm a few months into my pregnancy. At this point, my parents know, my step-parents know, and I'm living with my mom at this point. And I would go off with Kane to live with him for weeks at a time, to spend time with him because obviously he couldn't stay with my mom and I was underage, so I couldn't move out. So one of the weeks that Kane comes to pick me up on the weekend, he comes driving someone's car that I know. And I know this person from when I was living with my dad. And Kane had brought this female around, let's call her Kate. Kane had brought Kate around, but I didn't think anything sexual was going on between them two because I was 16 years old, and at that point, like I said, I thought I was the only one. That's what he made me believe. So Kane comes to pick me up in Kate's car, and he proceeds to take me to Kate's house, and he told me that we were going to be staying there because he was house sitting for Kate for a while. So we stayed at the house, and when it was time for him to go and drop me back off, I started to put two and two together slowly. I remember exactly where I was when I confronted him about whether he was sleeping with somebody else or not. I was in the driveway of my parents' house. Here I am pregnant, sitting in the car, talking to him, trying to figure out whether he's sleeping with Kate or not. And I guess I'm not asking the right questions because his narcissistic ass was not answering the question directly. And when I finally asked, "Are you sleeping with her? Are you sleeping with Kate?" he answered. So I'm crying because he has confirmed that he has been sleeping with Kate, and I'm asking him for how long because we're together and he's cheating on me. And he informs me that him and I were never together and that we were not exclusive, so it wasn't cheating.
Damn. He didn't drop the bombshell on her. But once again, right? If you're 16, he's 26. What do y'all see? But in her head, she's young and naive. She don't know any better. Like she said, she thought they was a couple. She thought they was something. In his head, he probably was just using her for the sex, which is kind of strange too because she's 16. You mean to tell me you can't find anybody your age? I mean, if that's the case, if you gotta pay for it, then go pay for it. But you mean to tell me you're 26 and she's 16 and that's what you got to go after? I gotta see how this guy look, man. But it seems like he hit her with the finesse. What he tried to do was like slowly introduce her, like softly introduced him, and he knows, being that she's young and she actually wants to be with him, 9 times out of 10 she's just gonna agree with it. Like she's gonna go with it, I guess. I don't know, but she's young, she don't know any better. Let's get into the next part, man.
So I'm guessing at the same time Kate was putting two and two together and realized that him and I were sleeping together. She had been going through his phones, reading our messages to an extent. So I'm assuming she kind of put two and two together. Might I add that Kate is around the same age or a little bit older than Kane. And Kate has a son and a daughter. I can't say that Kate knew that he was sleeping with me while I was underage, but it was apparent. It was there. The evidence was there.
Alright, so yeah, you know what it is. Kate, she probably in her head like, nah, he can't be messing with this, because sometimes people be in denial. Like, you see a guy, you like, he wouldn't mess with no damn young girl. I ain't even tripping over that. She probably just his cousin, or even if she is, like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't know, because the first thing I would ask is, who's that? Even any guy that bring a girl around and I'm there, I gotta make sure I know. If she look young, I gotta ask, who's that? That's your cousin? That's your sister? That's your whoever? Because if you got her around and she's young and she's underage, and we're around her, she's liable, if she get mad at you or whatever, to say anything. And you got people that's gonna think things as well. You got people that's gonna be like, well, what is he doing with what are they doing together? Them two guys, what are they doing together? Nah, I can't.
Now at this point, Kane has already said that it's either both of us or neither one of us is gonna be in a relationship with him. Kane had took me to look at a property 2 hours away from where we lived. Come to find out, Kane was looking into purchasing this property so that I could move in and that Kate could move in and he could force us into a polyamorous relationship. He told Kate that she would be moving in with her kids, and he told me that after I had my baby, I would be moving in with my kid. But he didn't tell us that the other party would be living there. So I wake up
the other party. Who's the other party?
one day, and I have a message from Kate on Instagram. Anyways, so now me, 17 years old, I have beef with a grown-ass woman because her and I are sleeping with the same guy. I don't know whether she was trying to be my friend to get information out of me or what exactly she was doing, but because she was older than me and had kids, she was trying to give me advice on parenting and mothering, and saying that she wanted to be there for me because Kane cared about me, just on some really weird. I have beef with this grown woman, and the end months of my pregnancy were filled with that. So the baby is born, I have my baby, and everybody starts to notice that the baby does not look like Cain.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. So I'm assuming that everybody realized that the baby don't look like Cain, because remember she said, I ran away and had a baby. Remember in the beginning she said she ran away to be with Cain, but she had a baby that wasn't Cain's. So now they're trying to have a poly relationship. He's trying to move her into the crib. Kate is trying to give her advice because that she thinks that it's Cain's baby. Come to find out, it's not Cain's baby. Wow.
But without further ado, here is part 3. At that point in my life, I was going through a lot of... I had already knew that 9 times out of 10, the baby was not Cain's because of what happened to me. But I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept what happened to me or accept the fact that I was carrying that person's child. So Cain and I decided to do a DNA test. The DNA test obviously came back that the baby was not Cain's, but Cain decided that he was going to be there for me and the baby and raise the child as his own.
Oh, wow.
This was after I was honest with Cain about how the baby was created, and he informed me not to go looking for this person. Now, within our relationship, there were points where I just couldn't take it anymore, and we did end up separating. And on those breaks, I did have relationships. I was in a relationship
fellas,
with somebody.
Let me tell y'all right now, them breaks, and you know, she's young, right? She's young, but all I'm saying is, even as an adult, or clearly you can see even as a child, them breaks, when y'all let them women go on them breaks and y'all think y'all gonna come back, and nah. Them breaks don't do it. You either, listen, we either broken up and that's it, because you gonna be mad when you hear that on that break, she was giving Ray Ray the guac 3000, but guess what? You can't be mad because y'all was on the break. So technically, she's not wrong because y'all wasn't together. However, you knew the whole time that you wanted her back, and she knew that she wanted you back. Y'all was just on the break to do whatever y'all was gonna do, and yeah, sheesh.
And after that person and I broke up, some things ended up happening with my family, and Cain decided that I was going to move in with him.
Cain decided.
I'm not going to go into detail about what exactly happened with my family, but some things transpired, and I could no longer stay with my mother, and I could no longer stay with my father.
I wonder,
was
right?
Already living with Kate at this
Was
point.
she being
And
touched or something?
When everything transpired, I called Kate and I told her about the incident that had just happened while I was at my father's house. And Kate came in the middle of the night, and Kate picked me up. And from that point forward, I was living with Cain and Kate and her 2 children. I went and got my things from the place that I was previously staying at and moved it to Cain and Kate's home. My family was not in agreement with it. My family did not like it, but at that point, there was nothing that they could really do. So the relationship that I had with my father, the small relationship that I had with my father, dwindled away before it could even prosper. Kate did not really want to be in a polyamorous relationship. I cared about Kate not in a sexual way, but as a sister, and I wanted to see her prosper, and I wanted to see her thrive, and I started caring about her because Cain cared about her. So at that point, again,
Wow.
Cain had
So
told us
do y'all see like the manipulation? You see what I'm saying? Like, because once again, she's young. If you remember in the other video, she said that Kate contacted her because Cain cared about her. Now she's saying she cared about Kate because Cain cared about Kate. You see, it's once again that manipulation stuff. Crazy.
Whether he was with both of us or he was with neither one of us. So Kate decided that, again, she was going to be in a polyamorous relationship and make it seem like she cared about me. And I went for it. Now, this is when she takes a turn. Everything was good for the first few weeks of the relationship. But slowly but surely, Kate started to do things to try to turn Cain against me. And me being completely oblivious to the fact that Kate did not really care about me, that she just wanted Cain, and that's why she was pretending to care about me. I didn't see it until it was too late. And throughout this time, Kate's children and I started to form a bond, and I started to care about them as if they were my own children. My son had been sick several times prior to me moving in with them, and they were all things that were from a certain demographic that I was not. So I could not understand what was happening to him, and as a mother wanting answers, I decided that I was going to at least try to look for this person that got me pregnant. But nothing ever came of it until one day I was in town and I saw him going into a parole office.
Wow.
I followed him in, but I lost him, and I thought that was the end of it. So my dad and I decided to hire a private investigator to investigate this person, and turns out this person was a registered sex offender with several priors, and
wow.
I was not the only person that he had done this to. So now now it makes sense. So basically the baby that she conceived with this man was through the R word. You can't say it, but it was through like forcible sex. That's what that was about. Okay. Now it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Oh, the illusion that I had created in my head about, oh, I was the only person, I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, had disappeared. Now, Cain did not like this at all. Cain did not like the idea of me going out to look for this person. Cain did not like the idea of me trying to replace him as my son's father. And even though I reassured him multiple times that that was not what I was trying to do, he still felt that way. And I'm pretty sure Kate was in his ear telling him something along those lines as well, because Cain had the same problem with Kate and wanting her kids' biological fathers in their lives.
So basically,
without further ado,
what Cain was doing, Cain wanted to play, I don't know, he wanted to be a father. I guess he didn't want to get them pregnant, but he wanted to be a father. But what man in their right mind wouldn't want the kids, if you care about them, to find their biological father? But once again, they were playing manipulation games, and Kate is weird too. Look what somebody said. That's crazy. Kate was weird too. You know what Kate was? Kate was what we call an enabler, right? Because she was old enough, but then she also knows that she was young, and she realized, damn, Cain loves this girl, so I can't get rid of her. However, while she's here, I'm gonna manipulate the situation, right? I'm gonna try to make him hate her, and I get all the attention. Like that's how that polygamy stuff, I don't know, I can't tell you how it works, but you got to think that at some point there's a little bit of envy and jealousy going around, between the girls, because that's what happens. Let's get into the next part.
I just woke up, I'm getting ready for work, but part 4. Where I come from, the father has to be on child support in order for the mother to receive government assistance.
That's the trap too that they do. And women fall for it every time. That's how they divide. That's how they divide the family, right? And because they say first of all, y'all know America's never going to give you something without taking. They tell you, yeah, we'll give you government assistance, but then he has to be on child support. So while you think they're giving you something, they're really not, because they're taking it from him. And what that does is divide the family. That's what they've been doing in our culture for the longest.
High school dropout, I needed government assistance, so I applied for it. But some of the programs that I applied for, the father had to be on child support. So I made an application to put a person that I had never met before on child support. After Cain expressed that he didn't like it and that I didn't need to put him on child support, I tried to cancel it. But the state had already picked the case up, so there was nothing that I could do at that point. That's a key factor, so keep that in mind. Now, throughout this time in our relationship, Cain and I were not doing well, and my mental health was not doing well either. My mental was not doing well because I had to face yet again that this incident actually happened to me, that I wasn't the only person that it happened to, and that maybe if I had spoken up sooner, the things that happened to this girl wouldn't have happened. And at this time, Kate started to notice that Kane and I's relationship was not that well, and that's when her plan came into full motion. I don't remember exactly the things that she used to do because there were a lot of things, but I do remember that they endangered my son. Sick a lot. And when he would get sick, he would throw up profusely. He wouldn't be able to lay on his back because if he threw up, he'd choke. Both pissed off at me about something, and they moved to a different room. They moved her two kids and themselves to another room, left my son in his crib, and left him on his back. When I came home, he had throw up all over him, and I was pissed. Because they were angry at me, they decided to endanger my son's life. Anything could have happened. He could have choked on his throw up, etc. The events transpired that led her to feeling like I was trying to hurt her, that I was trying to kill her, that I was trying to take her out. When indeed the only person I was trying to take out was myself, because at that point I felt like my son would be better off without me. I felt like my parents would be better off without me because I felt like the daughter. Kane and I are on bad terms at this point. Kate and I are on bad terms at this point. And I decide that I'm going to delete myself. I decide that I don't want to do this anymore. So I go into our medicine cabinet and take all of the opioids that we have, which was codeine. I think that's opioid. I'm not fucking sure. But my body did not react to it in the way that Kate thought it should react to it. I had tried doing this prior, and I was a pill popper. So like, when I tried to do it, I would do it by trying to take pills. My body did not have a reaction to it. I didn't throw up. The only thing that happened was me getting extremely, extremely dizzy. At that point, Kane had called my stepmom and my dad over, and they were all trying to get me to throw up. They were all trying to get me to pretty much get the medicine out of my system, but it would not come up. The next day after everything happened, Kane and I went on a really long car drive to talk about why I felt the way that I felt. And before we left, Kate had pulled us both to the side and said she felt like I tried offing myself to get attention from Kane and to take the attention away from her. She said she felt like I really didn't feel the way that I felt, and that everything was for attention.
Oh, so see, let me tell you, everybody want this polygamy, this and that, but the ends of it, the part that you don't see is this: the jealousy in it, the crazy stuff you got to go through with the women. It's a lot that you got to endure. So before you want something just because you see, the girls, the multiple this and the sex, just understand this is the part that people do not see. Crazy.
Mind you, I was self-harming at this point, so nothing that I did was for attention. It was simply because I felt like my kid would be better off without me, and that my family would be better off without me.
Damn.
I ended up going to the hospital and getting the help that I needed, and while I was there, Kane told me that Kate said I wouldn't be able to come back into their lives because she feared for her children's lives, which was crazy. I had gotten out of the hospital. Kane and Kate had already brought all of my things, well, almost all of my things over to my father's house, and that's where I began to live for a little bit. And that
Kate seen the opportunity to get her out the way by saying, well, I feel like she's a danger to my kids. I feel like she can't be around the kids. I feel like she can't be around us. She might do harm to us. She manipulated the situation, right? So it was just one big web of manipulation going on, and let's get to the next part.
Part 5, the last and final part, because Kane and I's story kind of starts to shift into me finding myself as a woman and realizing that this situation was not what I needed or wanted. Around the time that this was happening, I did not have any emotion. I wasn't doing anything with my life. So our communication had ceased to exist until a few months later, and then we started talking again.
Him and I were still sleeping together off and on, and I was still trying to convince him to have a relationship with me and not have a relationship with her, but that didn't work out. I ended up going to another state to go to college. I ended up going to Mississippi to go to college, and while I was in Mississippi, Kane had told me that he had got Kate pregnant. So with Kate being pregnant, I decided that I was going to move on with my life. I decided to get married and start trying to join the military. Now, me joining the military did not...
She keep trying to show that ring off. Congratulations to her, though. She seemed like, you know, she been through a lot, but she definitely trying to show that ring off.
I got back to Texas because me joining the military in Mississippi just wasn't working out in between the processing and the recruiters. It just wasn't working out. So when I got back to Texas, a day before I had signed my contract, I went to him and said, hey, if you want to be with me, if you love me, I need you to make a decision because I'm about to leave, and once I sign this contract, that's over and done with. And he told me he needed time to think about it. That was enough for me. I decided the next day that I was going to go sign my contract, and that's exactly what the fuck I did. My contract, I had a going away dinner. He did not come, obviously, because I didn't want him there. And then I went to basic training. And throughout basic training, he had tried to send me letters, but I never got them because the person he had got the address from, he got the address wrong. And I'm grateful for that because if he had gotten the address, maybe he would have talked me back into being with him.
Now, you know what's crazy, y'all? They say everything happens for a reason. If you realize how she got to the military and was able to get away from him, that was God. Right? Because you got, look, she said she went to him. She even went as far as going to him and seeing what he said. She said based on his answer, she knew whether she was going to leave or not. He didn't have the answer. She said that was enough for her. All right, boom, she left. She had the dinner and he still didn't come. I'm pretty sure if he would have asked her or he would have came or whatever. He didn't come to that. Then when she actually got there, whoever he got the address from gave it to him wrong. So now he had the wrong address and the letters couldn't. That was God, bro. God said, nah, she don't need this disturbance. She been through enough. Let her be. And now look.
I had decided to move on with my life, and now the new challenge in my life was figuring out a way to get full custody of my son because the state of Texas had gave the person that assaulted me some custody and visitation rights, and divorcing my now ex-husband.
Yeah.
I do not talk to Kane anymore. I definitely don't talk to Kate anymore. The whole situation was weird and fucked up. They do have a child together. As I stated, she did end up getting pregnant. But that's not my business. I don't talk to them. I don't have anything to do with them. Kane used to check on me every now and then, but now it's non-existent.
Alright, so that's pretty much it, y'all. She actually has a success story. She got out of it. All this started when she was 16. I'm not sure how old she is now, but all of this pretty much started when she was 16. She got into a whole little weird situation with an older man and an older woman. One was pretty much a predator and the other one was just an enabler, right? And what happened was they worked as a team because the girl, Kate, she was already in cahoots with the whole situation, right? So they worked as a team to have this young girl in there, but thank God the young girl actually escaped and she made something of her life for not only herself, but her kid. So this is actually a good turnout, man. If you going through anything like this, y'all, please, especially y'all ladies, it's not the way to go. Now, if you older and you want to be in a relationship or whatever like that, then that's cool. But what I'm saying is, if you young and you have somebody that's trying to manipulate you into doing something you know that you don't want to do, don't do it. Because not everybody will end up like her, and some people end up going down the wrong path. Y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. And I'm out.